you again for joining us at the Chattan Association. And, you know, I always say I have very special guests, but I have two of the most important people to the Chattan Association that have been figures and with Chattan Association for decades. And they started when they were one, I don't know.
Feels like.
But I wanted to introduce them to you and just have them talk a little bit to you more about what Chattan Association is, what we stand for, what our mission is, and why you should be so excited to join us and come with us on the YouTube channel and try to make it in person when and where you can. Everyone, this is Denise and Donald McIntosh. And Donald has been either chairman or vice chairman in Chattan Association for the last 15 years.
15 years, yeah.
And Denise was membership chair.
Membership secretary for 20 years. Yep.
Oh my goodness. And that you have those titles is incredible, but you actually do so much more. And
well, I think my job kind of evolved a bit. I've been a member. We've both been members since 1980, and so we didn't actually join council until about, what was that, 96 or 97, and I became membership secretary in 1998. But prior to that, we go back a bit. Donald's parents were in fact also on council, and they were membership secretary and treasurer and chairman, and so we kind of just
following
over from them, you know, and just kept it going and keep it within the family. And so in 1998, when I took over, it was purely membership secretary, you know, didn't really do anything else. And then it evolved to, oh, do you think you could do something with the AGM? Could you arrange an event? You know, so it just kind of evolved from there that I did that. And we started to go to other events, and yeah, we just kept adding jobs into our portfolio of things. Yeah.
And then to add into the mix, I became the editor of Touchknot. Louisa Cross was the editor originally of the newsletter. Yeah, that's right. That's the 23 version. Now, she had the newsletter, but going way back, we had Mr. Robert McGillivray, who was editor of the Journal. Now, I'm sure most of you know what the Journal used to be, but he was editor for over 40 years doing that. Now, I don't want to be doing 40 years worth of editor on the Touchknot, but yeah, I think I've done about 10.
Yeah.
10 so far. Process of producing the 2024 one, which should be printed next month in March.
So watch this space.
So all our members will be getting their copy in March, at the end of March.
Well, and that brings me to everyone. It is membership. Renew your membership time. Become a member at the clan. That's based in Scotland, but is worldwide, in fact. And you do get this beautiful Touchknot magazine. And, you know, we were talking a little bit about it. I know Ray McCatton has done a lot of sent information over, but, you know, you have welcomes and you hear from many of the clans what's going on around the world. There's lots of wonderful pictures of what we've been up to. It's really full of really wonderful information. And so you can only receive this if you join and become a member. And thank you, Donald. They're beautiful.
I think I'm quite proud. I think we're both proud of the Touchknot magazine. It's supposed to be an all-inclusive magazine to cover all the constituent clans. There are one or two clans, of course, that are not very active, McQueens and McIntyres, for instance. the McPhersons and the Farquharsons and the McThomases. They're much bigger clans, and they're very, very active. So, but looking through each of these magazines, what I try and do is be all inclusive and have something from each of the clans. It's not always possible. I rely on the clans to send something in. And all I'm doing is trying to put it in some sort of order that makes sense. And of course, Denise helps tremendously.
Yeah.
You do.
The thing I think that started originally we had the Journal, which was a nice little A5 magazine, and it was full of history and historical events, and some of them were very weighty, and people would get their journal and think, oh, I'll leave that for next week to read it, you know, because there's so much information. So when it was first try the Touchknot, it was let's have something that people will be able to pick up and have on their coffee table and say, you know, oh, look, there's actually a picture of me in there, or there's a picture of my friend, or, you know, something that is much more personal to each member. And so we have, you know, we have some nice historical things, but we also have a lot to do with the members. And that's why it's so important for members to get out there with their cameras, think about things, you know, just organize a little 2-paragraph article and say, you know, tell us what you're doing. We want to know about you, because that's one of the aims of this association, is the social interaction. Be together, learn about each other, know about it, and just obviously we don't want to know too much about you, but I mean, you know, just to get together and know that there's somebody the other end of that online email or whatever. Yeah,
I think it's wonderful. You've done a beautiful job, and in truth, part of the reason for this YouTube channel is to make sure we can be all inclusive as well. This is just another extension of that, but the beautifully done Touchknot, and I look forward to, you know, and I like going back and reading one from previous years and looking through them again and remembering what we were doing that year and how much fun that was. And I think, oh, by the way, like and subscribe. It's so important to subscribe to this channel. We have so much coming out this year. So I kind of just want you guys to take over and just let people know, somebody who's never heard of Clan Hatton before, who's maybe come up to you, you're out somewhere, what would you say to them, and just kind of give an overview of Clan Hatton Association, and let me know if you'd like for me to chime in at any point in time. I've got the information in front of me, but I know you guys could do this with your eyes closed. What is Clan Hatton?
Well,
yes,
where do you want to start?
1933.
Yeah, indeed. The actual, well, first of all, Clan Hatton itself, as you've probably mentioned before on here, it was an original clan, and in the 1300s got together with Clan McIntosh and started to create a confederation of originally it was more than 12, but now basically it is 12 of the major clans in Scotland, including McPherson, Davidson. I mean, we could go through them all, but they are all on the back of the Touchknot magazine. So prior to this particular association, there had been two others, one 19th century and one earlier, late 1800s. 1933, though, was when this particular association was formed in St Andrew's Hotel in London. There was a meeting of some of the chiefs of that time, including a gentleman who we all loved, Clooney McPherson, who sadly died a couple of years ago. And he was an amazing man and was actually there, but as a little tiny baby. He was he was very, very young. And so this association, as it is now, has developed in over 90 years, which is what we celebrated last year, 90 years. And it went on in some sort of form, even during the war. So there, it was an amazing thing. But what the aims of the association, I mentioned one of them there, the social interaction between the clans to develop friendship between the clans and to try and support each clan, hopefully even their associations. For instance, we go to the Inverness Highland Games. And the Inverness Highland Games is very particular because there are very few Highland Games that actually have a clan tent. So we actually go there and, for instance, we have the Davidsons and we have the McPhersons and the Farquharsons all grouped together in the clan tent as a force to reckon with, of course. Touchknot the cat. And it works very, very well. What else can you say?
Well, you're doing remarkably well.
I just talk too much, you know. Chatting is the best for Hatton.
But I think the important thing is that the Confederation of the Clans, that's the association, it brings together the 12 important Scottish clans. And, you know, it's been going on for, well, in the modern incarnation since 1933, as Denise mentioned. But yes, there has been an association going way back in time. So it's not a modern thing. This is the modern part of it.
And this is why we are so pleased and enthusiastic that Cindi has taken on this promotion of the clan, of the association, through YouTube, through Instagram and Facebook, because this is the modern era. You know, we can't sit in 1933 and hope everything will just turn round. We need you. We need you to work on this, to keep it going and to keep that base. It really is exciting for us that this is the next step, the next era for this association, because it needs to be another, well, 50, maybe 100 years, and to keep going, to keep these histories alive in this era, because otherwise we will become just little pieces of porridge, and we don't want that.
Well,
That's an interesting.
and you guys, you've done so much and dedicated so much of your lives, and it's inspiring to watch you. And I love everything having to do, you know, with our history and culture and heritage. We Americans are crazy about our history, especially, I believe, Americans with Scottish ancestry. And so, you know, in our vlogs and our YouTube channel, hopefully we will talk with people around the world. And I'm so excited to be able to do that and share with all of you points of view and how people do it around the world. But I can speak on the side of Americans who are just so passionate about our Scottish history, and even people who aren't Scottish, my husband being one of them. He's a big drum major for many of the Highland Games. He's known around the world. He works with Dalman Narborough on Maces. You'll see him in his office, some of his drum majoring stuff behind me. Very passionate, absolutely no, you know, blood ties to Scotland or England for that matter. Just there's people who have a great love of the very rich Scottish culture. A lot of the Highland Games in the US, you have clan rows. You know, if you're here in the US and you've gone to one of the Highland Games, you might see 50 to almost all of 80 or so clans represented in one area. hats and everybody's wearing tartan. So it's an amazing thing to see here in the States, and it's so fun. But I would love to share our family culture and the history of Clan Hatton, also the present, and what we would like to do for the future, and how we want to share with the entire world, and anything we can do to achieve that.
Oh, we were talking earlier about the various different Highland Games that you'll find around the States. I mean, I think you mentioned the fact there's about 120 different Highland Games. We don't have that many Highland Games in Scotland. We have the most famous one, of course, is Braemar.
Yeah.
And that is very much athletics, heavy lifting, dancing, etc., etc. But that is the Highland Games, and there are only perhaps maybe 3 or 4 clans that might be represented at that. One of them mainly being the Farquharsons, because that's Farquharson country. The Highland Games in Inverness, again, it's a Highland Games, and the lesser part of that are clans meeting in a tent, which has been going on now for not that many years, probably about 6 or 7. Or am I?
Well, no, a bit more than that, but
A wee bit more than that. Well, let's say the last 10 years that the Highland tent, the tented village has been there for the clans. And there's only maybe 15, 20 different clans represented. Whereas in the States, a lot of these Highland Games might have 50, 60, 70 different.
We have had the pleasure only of being at one Highland Games in the US, and it was the Loon Games, or the New Hampshire Games, where we were with Ray McHatton, and another of our council members, Rob McIntosh, and they had a tent, and it was split in 2, if you like. So we had a bit of a McIntosh bit and a bit of a Clan Hatton bit. And it was so much fun. It was really amazing. And Rob had gone to a farm. When we drove to the field, he'd gone to a farm to particularly pick up a whole barrel of McIntosh apples so that he could give everybody who went past, who said, "Oh, McIntosh, have an apple." I mean, we got, so it
McIntosh Red.
A McIntosh Red apple. It was hilarious. It really was so much fun. And yes, we all went out onto the field, because they call you at one point so that you all go out on the field and you carry your banner, and this was all great fun. And we all had to do the war cry, if you like. And Ray had got every clan, our 12 clans, he'd got each war cry written on a piece of paper, and we all stepped forward. I mean, well, ours of course is Lochmoy, so we actually, it was the best fun. It really was exceptional. I really enjoyed that, but sadly we've not been back.
No,
we've not been.
You must come, and I highly recommend, please come to Stone Mountain, Georgia.
Well, of course, that's one of the major ones, isn't it? Stone Mountain.
One of the biggest ones. Is set in a beautiful, beautiful scenery next to a lake, but also because you're McIntoshes, this is McIntosh country in Georgia, big time. And they have a huge McIntosh pipe band. And I didn't bring my bagpipes this last year, and they invited me to come and play with them. I was wearing my McIntosh, kilt and everything, and they knew I was a piper. They know me. So a gentleman brought a set of pipes for me to play, one of his other premier sets of pipes, and I was so honored. And I jumped in and played with the McIntosh pipe band there. But any McIntosh or anybody, you should come to Stone Mountain. It is phenomenal. They do a phenomenal job. You're in the mountains. All the clans come out with their banners. It's a huge parade. As a matter of fact, I'll put a link down below, and I'll put a little video in our YouTube channel here of that parade. I have footage of it from both last year and the year prior. I'll kind of have a little bit different focus, a different setting, and a different feel. And like Ray and I were talking, we enjoy each and every one of them, and sometimes for different reasons.
Well, they're offering so many different things. I mean, there's the sports side of it, there's the dancing, there's the music. I mean, in some of these American ones, there's so many different bands competing. You have band competitions.
Yeah. I participate in some of those. Pleasanton alone, Pleasanton on the West Coast, 32, 38 bands some years all together. So it's really cool. Anyway.
So from morning all the way through the day, you've got all these sounds, and usually a lot of food smells as well, because well, here you've got the venison burgers and whatnot. I'm sure you've got that over there as well.
Not like that. I mean, honestly, when I talk about Moy, okay, everybody, you need to come to the AGM, the Chattan Association AGM, first weekend of August every year up in Inverness area, and Moy the day after.
The country fair, yeah.
It's a fair, and it's different. It's got its own different flavor, but it's wonderful. It's beautiful. Obviously, I'm partial. It's Moy. And I have some beautiful footage which I'll also share. And there's a video here of ago. But the food is phenomenal. We don't get that kind of food here in the States. We just
I'm surprised. I thought it would be more than chicken wings.
The meat pies, the venison patties. My good heavens, they also have, you can actually get lobster. They have a little lobster.
And one of the best things is the Arbroath Smoky.
Yes.
Which they dig a pit, and they make a fire in it and everything, and they smoke these skippers over the top. They are a lot of bones, so they're a bit tricky to eat, especially when you're trying to do it with your fingers like that, but
they're so fresh.
They're
so
fresh.
You get it on a stick, and then there is this massive tent, sometimes two, full of cheeses, like cheese die for every flavor of cheese you can imagine. Get a sausage on a stick. I always get food there because I'm always in Scotland for 2 or 3 weeks after that, and tour around, and then wind up back at the World Pipe Band competition in Glasgow and in Edinburgh. But I get cheeses. I get like a picnic for the car to go on the journey, and then
don't forget the whiskey.
Don't forget the whiskey. And Chattan is right there, by the way. Just getting a shout out to Chattan. I need to come and tour their distillery this time, because it's really close by, and that's some of our old-time favorite whiskey.
Of course, it is definitely one of them. Well, you were saying that you had been to Glenmorangie,
yes,
as well, on the way to Wick. Is that on the way to Wick? Tain, yeah. That is such a beautiful building.
Oh goodness. And I was able to get a really nice tour of that, and we filmed a lot there. And actually, by the time this segment airs on our YouTube channel, the Glenmorangie On the Trail segment will already be on this site. So we'll link it so you guys can pull it up and watch it if you haven't already had the chance to do it. Go on the trail with Chattan here on our YouTube channel. We're going to take you on tours. We're going to take you to some of the other games around the world. We're going to hopefully, see very many more Chattan Association members doing various fun things.
The thing, obviously, we say it's worldwide, and that is because we have so many members out with the United States. Obviously, we have Canada, and in Europe, we have people in France, in Italy, in Germany, in Norway, and then you go even further over, we have people in Oman. Then you go down to the Antipodean area. We've got New Zealand and, of course, Australia, and lots in Australia as well. And they have Highland Games over there as well. And we have a wonderful gentleman, another Rob McIntosh, different one, and he does a lot down there in Australia as well. So we're represented throughout the world. We even used to have members in Hawaii, and I mean, just everywhere. I would have loved to have gone to Hawaii. That would have been good.
Oh,
But
that would
Yeah.
wouldn't that be fun? Well, and I just want to bring up to our viewers now, it doesn't matter when you're watching this, please put in the comment section down below where you are from. And don't be bashful. Let us know who you are and where you're from. We really want to know that. And if you want to include some pictures or send over some photographs of yourselves or what you're doing, we want to connect with you.
Oh, we always like
Absolutely.
photographs.
And just in case you're wondering, we actually live just south of Edinburgh. So we're not actually up in the Highlands ourselves, but we travel up every year, 2 or 3 times at least a year into the Highlands, and celebrate with everybody first week in August. And we have great fun. It's really, really good. Yeah, you just got to be a member.
Our next big trip up to the Highlands actually is going to be in April. Mid-April, around about the 16th, and that is the commemoration of the Battle of Culloden. And Denise and I join up to 200 or 300 people up there to
wonderful.
commemorate that battle, which happens every year. It's run by the
battle doesn't happen.
No,
every
no,
year,
thank goodness.
Commemoration.
in fact, it was the last pitched battle on British soil. So thankfully that doesn't happen anymore. But it was very, very poignant part of Scottish history, and it needed remembering. And it is run, the actual memorial is run by the Inverness Gaelic Society, and they do a wonderful job. Sometimes it's very, very cold and snow, and sometimes it's beautiful sunshine. And it's just wonderful, and people come in obviously all dressed in their Highland outfits, and they carry their banners. It is so colourful and so emotional. So if you want to really get some Scottish emotion going, that's the place to be. Nearest Saturday to the 16th of April. I think it's the 13th this year.
I hope if you have the opportunity, if you can send us some footage, I would love to be able to attend that at some point. I might not be able to do it this year, but maybe next year, and attend some of these other things that are going on over there. But if you don't mind sending some pictures or footage, I will post that here. And then I'll also talk a little bit about that battle as well. And I got to play pipes with the Black Watch in Montreal, who their version of the McIntosh Lament, which is stunningly beautiful, and I will include that recording with that segment of Culloden. I think that would be a perfect place to put that, and we'll give a little bit of the history of Culloden, and anything you can send to us or want to send to us, be happy to post that here.
Okay, we'll do that.
Well, we're hoping to have a photo gallery in this coming up, the 2024 Touchknot, and I think there are 1 or 2 Culloden shots to be had in there. It's not fully finalized yet, but we might be putting some in. Yeah.
Yep, definitely.
And of course, we'll put the links down below to everything having to do with that event. Denise and Donald, thank you so very, very much for joining me here today. Hopefully you'll be on regularly, because
Well,
have so
voted on or voted off. Well, thank you for inviting us on. It's been quite fun, and if we've managed to impart some information that enthuses other people, then that can only be a good thing.
And if I could just say, if you want to join, and you do now, of course, all want to join, just go to www.clanhatton.org.uk and get into the membership area. And there you go.
Of course, and that link is always down below. First thing, first up, wonderful gift to give someone who has an interest and has that passion about their history. So let's all join, let's become members, let's get our on the trails, let's get our Touchknots, and we'll meet you back here. And bye for now.
Okay.